You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, This Week, featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Dario Kristen.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. I'm your host, Dario Kristen, and here joining me in the studio today is Courtney Stewart, who is rocking a new hairstyle for Valentine's Day.
She's trying to get something out.
No, not with this hair. That's got to come off first.
Oh, okay. On that note, and Jesse Janity, who's in the studio as well.
I already got mine off. I'm ready.
On today's show, we're going to cover a variety of different topics, including the controversy over a Black History Month lunch menu, Nelson Mandela's secret daughters are revealed, and Samuel Jackson does not like to be called Lawrence Fishburne, and we will tell you why a little bit later. But first, let's read the results from last week's Buzzer Meter question, which was, what constitutional amendment abolished slavery in the United States? You guys voted. Here were the different answers. 12, 13, 14, or 22. 15% said 12, 65% said 13, 30% said 14, and 0 said 22. The correct answer is 13.
Yay!
So for those of you who voted 13, good job.
Congratulations.
You know your history. Today's Buzz Meter question is, Bill Robinson and Shirley Temple were claimed as the first interracial tap dancing couple for what movie? A, The Little Princess, B, The Little Rebel, C, The Little Colonel, or D, Curly Top? You guys let us know the answer, and we will read the results next week. All right.
And shout out because Shirley Temple passed away this week.
Yes, she did. She did.
She was
Shout out
85?
to her. A lot of body of work for her as well.
She did. I got lots of them movies.
Yes.
Little Princess is my favorite.
She will be missed. All right, let's move on to the trending topics with Jessie J.
Well, OWN is coming up. It's gearing up to produce its first scripted TV movie.
Woo woo.
It's an adaptation to My Name is Love, the Darlene Love story.
Excited.
Darlene Love is a backup singer to the greats like Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin. It will be produced by Oprah Winfrey and Morgan Neville, and it will hit the small screen in 2015.
I'm
She's just doing it all. I'm
excited. TV
excited.
movies, yay.
And I'm glad they're stepping it up.
Yes.
And they're bringing it back. 'Cause remember, like, back in the 90s when there was a bunch of TV movies on Sunday
All the
nights?
time.
Yeah.
And
Or
right
like
now,
Saturday nights, too? It's like nothing anymore.
We just have Lifetime and
Lifetime.
Lifetime Movie Network, which
Yeah.
still suffices for that, you know,
Sometimes
TV
it
movie-ness.
does.
Well, they're always entertaining.
We're good for the
Ridiculous,
Big O for
entertaining.
always bringing the new innovative
And that sounds like a good
things.
story, too.
It
I
does,
haven't read
actually.
that book, but I would imagine that's some good story to tell. You've been a backup singer for like 40 years, she did it?
Okay, and for huge
For
people?
huge people. So I'm sure she got some real good tea.
That's a lot of stories.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I got one story that I don't know if y'all are ready for.
Uh-oh.
But I don't even know how to say the damn name of the school. Carondelet High School in Concord, California announced Monday, since it's Black History Month, that they would be serving a Black History Month lunch. The
this
lunch
is
would
crazy.
include fried chicken, watermelon, and cornbread. Well, the families of this school were not too happy about this, and they asked to remove the Black History Month special off of the menu. The school then came out to say, I'd like to apologize for this announcement and any hurt this caused students, parents, or community members. That's the principal, Nancy Libby, stated. She said, please know that at no time at the school do we wish to put out racial stereotypes, and that she won. Oh my God. She added that she met with leaders of the school's Black Student Union who requested the watermelon be removed from the menu.
Just the watermelon?
Just the watermelon.
Well, because fried chicken is an American Southern staple. Like, it didn't get to be racist until they threw the watermelon
I mean, you're
on
right.
there.
I think it was just because the whole
like
combination, all of it together,
was a
just
mess.
Cornbread. They might as well have collard greens up in there too.
right. I'm like, you know,
I was
they gonna have
wondering where
chitlins too,
the collard greens were.
or chitlins.
They wouldn't do that. They scared of them, just like I
I
am.
am too. I am too. But that's a different subject.
Well, the menu may have been had good intentions behind it, but University of San Francisco professor James Taylor explains that this is prejudice against blacks. Chicken, watermelon, collard greens, these stereotypes of black Southern culture come from the same place that the N-word comes from. This is not like this food represents some heroic moment in African American experience. What it represents is the degradation and the stereotyping of African Americans. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, he took it to another.
Well, wait.
another
Actually, let me
level,
say
but-
this before you say it, because this woman just went. He took it to another, and then this woman takes it to another.
Okay.
Claire Schmidt of the University of Missouri says it's a food you eat with your hands, and therefore it's dirty. And to break it down even more, it inflicts the racism of the birth of the nation. It's still a way to express racial contempt without getting into serious trouble for it. How is it possible for it to both be taboo and a corporate Main Street thing? Just shows how complicated race in America is.
yeah, it's like that's a lot. You got it, Courtney. I'll go after
I
you.
don't. It's hard because I'm Southern, and just like lots of Southern, I mean, fried chicken, collard greens, cornbread
Sure.
is uniquely Southern, not necessarily uniquely black. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would be more, whereas the first quote you gave said something about the degradation and it doesn't show a heroic moment, and if they had served like pig innards, like the last, because part of the problem is that, you know, slaves and black people got the garbage basically.
Right.
So
Hence
things,
chitlins. Yeah.
chitlins
Yeah.
and things like that, like those are just the scraps basically. So I feel like if that was what was being served, that communicates that
negative.
degradation,
Okay,
that you're the bottom of the barrel and this is all you get kind of thing. The fried chicken thing, I understand because the stereotype, so to speak, that black people eat fried chicken and love fried chicken. Black people do like fried chicken. And
But
so,
don't all Americans
but
love fried
most
chicken? When
Americans
I
like
go
fried chicken.
past KFC, it's just as many
And white
non-black people there
Exactly.
that are as
It's
black
a white
people.
man on the
Which is-
board.
Right, right.
Which is why this just kind of makes me laugh that whereas I know the combination of everything with the fried chicken and the watermelon, cornbread, I mean, Mexican people eat
Yeah,
cornbread. Like,
right.
it's not that serious. But those two combinations, I understand why people automatically jump like, man, why you gotta stereotype us? Just like we eating chicken, because that was something that was mocked
Yeah.
in our culture for years, but it doesn't necessarily tie directly for real to just black people. So on the out, I just kind of laugh at him like, okay, y'all were dumb because you know that that's what's going to be read by you serving these things together.
Right.
But by no means do I think it's a commentary on the degradation of black people.
Right, yeah.
And all that's really, really extra. Like,
Yeah.
if they wanted to do that, they would have had to serve something very different. Because slaves were not eating on the good chicken.
No.
They were frying the chicken up for the big house.
Or out of the good
okay?
plates.
But hold up.
Or
Can
out
we
of the
please
good
talk
place.
about how the Black Student Union was like, well, we don't, I mean, that's a good meal right there. I don't know.
It is.
My
No,
lunch
I mean,
was not
it
that. But, you know, the Black Student Union was like, well, I mean, I guess we have to make it look right, but can we keep the fried chicken?
I mean, I'm getting hungry
look,
just looking at this
I was
picture
just
right
about
now.
to say,
I'm
is
gonna
it
go
offensive
home and
that
fry
I'm
some
hungry right
chicken
now? And I
tomorrow,
right, I
like-
want to go get some fried chicken right now. Is that offensive? I don't know.
That's all.
But
Yep.
no, I just think I kind of am piggybacking on what Courtney said. I think it was just the combination was a bad
Yeah.
idea. If you had just had fried chicken and some mashed potatoes and call it
But you
whatever,
can't call that like the
but you can't.
Black History Month meal. Like, that's not Black History.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it's fried chicken.
yeah. Somebody,
Like,
whoever the executive who made that decision or the school official, that's a bad choice.
You know?
Just to call it Black History Month meal is just a bad.
maybe get them
choice.
hush puppies instead of cornbread.
Yeah.
Because the hush puppies were supposed to be the last of the meal that got fried, and they would throw them to the
Yeah.
dogs or give them to the slaves. So
Now
then
where-
I would have been like,
No, I would have been pissed off if they served Kool-Aid with it. Now I'm gonna say that.
No.
Well,
Okay.
but that's would have been like that's what
But
the
that would've been-
watermelon did.
I mean,
Like,
that's what the
what it
shtick of
made.
it is, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like then I would have been like, oh, did you see? Oh hell, I would have did the Samuel Jackson. Oh hell no, you did too much.
But I mean, the watermelon's a healthy choice.
Yes, it's
The
the
collard
choice.
greens would have been the healthy choice. Hello, Whole Foods announced that collard greens are the new kale. So all the greens in the country are going to go up in price, guys.
Well, they just catching up because we've been eating.
We've been eating collard greens
for a
forever.
long
But
time.
yeah.
Moving
All
on.
right.
Tyler Perry and Essence will join forces together for the first ever Black Men in Hollywood dinner on February 26. It's the pre-Oscars event. We'll recognize the exceptional work for breakthrough and trailblazing performers and visionaries who contributed to the industry's most celebrated films.
It's fabulous.
I think
Because
it's
they've
great.
done the women's luncheon for years.
I
so.
think it's actually. We've had this
It's going to be
conversation.
followed right after the.
I think
Yeah,
that's
so they're gonna
genius.
do a dinner.
I think a highlight of this year would be perfect.
That'll be
Now, I haven't found anybody that they're going to honor there, but they did bring up that this will be the first year, and it will switch from Tyler Perry to different
hosts every year.
hosts every year.
I like that.
I like that.
Exciting.
Could
My
do
only
that.
problem is that not with this event, but I just think that overall, just some of these events get oversaturated because there's like an event for everything.
Yeah.
And I just hope I like the title and what he's doing with this event. I hope it doesn't get washed down because of all the other events.
It's
that are-
Hollywood, but we love awards.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody wants a reason to dress up.
Exactly. We need another
And
red
drink.
carpet to
And
sell
drink.
some more clothes and
Exactly.
alcohol.
Hey, I wouldn't be mad if this became a norm.
That's true.
So there we go.
There you go.
That's all I
right.
got for you.
That's all you got. Well, that was a quick
That was
trending
quick.
topics for you
Moving through.
today. All right, on to gossip and rumors with Courtney.
Gossip and rumors. So this week in the news, rappers and the old school battles going down. Dr. Dre is suing Death Row Records, according to court papers that Dr. Dre filed last December. He's suing Death Row for $3 million in unpaid royalties and digital sales. There are mechanical royalties, artist and producer royalties, and also the digital sales. And basically, he's seeking funds also from a bonus that he was expected to receive that would raise his revenue from the sales of Death Row, his records, albums on Death Row from 18% to 20%. So he hasn't been getting that.
That's a big deal.
Right now, Death Row is currently owned by Entertainment One since 2013. So it's not like he's suing Suge directly, y'all.
Well, he wouldn't get anything if he did.
Ain't no hip hop beef.
But this isn't new, apparently, because Afeni Shakur also filed suit last year for unpaid royalties to the Tupac estate in the sum of $1.1 million. So Death Row is holding on to them dollar bills, and he's going to go get his money.
All right, more power to you, Dre.
Yeah, and they just, it's just, they've been in the news a lot, just associations with Death Row. We had Suge Knight, who got in trouble for punching the guy at the weed store
Oh,
recently.
Okay.
And they just announced that they're doing, John Singleton's going to be doing the
Tupac biopic?
Tupac biopic.
yeah, he's signed
So,
back on.
yeah.
And he's rewriting it and directing, so
Yeah, so
hopefully this will be
a
a great
lot of news coming out of
comeback
the
for
Death
him.
Row camp.
All right.
Death Row looking real live.
They're
right
looking
now.
real lively right now.
Speaking of Death Row,
Literally.
Oh, that's a terrible.
in the news
Too
this
soon.
week, in the news this week, O.J. Simpson is on his self-inflicted death row, actually. For those of you guys who forgot or just laughed and didn't care, O.J. is still in jail for robbing folks, holding somebody hostage, kidnapping another
somebody,
person, talking
right?
about he was
Yeah.
trying to get his trophies.
Yeah.
And right now, oh God,
Oh,
O.J.
wow.
Simpson. The National Enquirer is actually claiming, that's a great source, National Enquirer there. They always get the breaking news, by the way.
Although, that's what I'm
They
saying.
get the breaking
Sometimes
news.
they're true.
They usually report it like all extra, but there's always inklings
piece.
of
Yeah.
truth
That's true.
in the National
I
Enquirer.
agree.
Do not get it twisted.
Don't get it
okay?
twisted.
So the National Enquirer is claiming that O.J. Simpson is very depressed, because he's in jail, and he's losing his will to live, and he is now trying to end his life with a hunger strike.
Yeah,
I don't
saw
believe
that.
this.
You don't believe it?
No, because remember when we talked about O.J. Simpson, he was so into the fact that he was going to get out of jail and he was going to do this college campus
Well,
tour.
he just got denied.
Yeah,
so
he
that
got
would be why
denied.
he was depressed.
Right.
Because
Why?
he just filed for that, what was it, last summer?
Last
that
summer,
he thought he
yeah.
was trying to get an appeal for a
Yeah.
new trial and all kind of stuff.
And he
got
thought he
denied.
was gonna get out.
He really thought
He thought he was
gonna
gonna get out, yeah.
And he got
Wow.
denied. And there's an insider.
Oh.
The National Enquirer has an insider. They can't name the insiders, but they tell you it's an insider. So the insider
They are
said,
messy. They know people working.
quote, that Simpson claimed to this friend, they ain't ever gonna let me out of here. I'm not gonna eat, and I won't let the doctors in the prison revive me. In any way, I will fight it. If you dying, how you gonna fight it, boo? I used to live my way, and now I'm gonna die my way.
Morbid.
OJ is serious, y'all.
Well, you know, listen.
I can see how he would be depressed. I mean,
I mean,
I'd be depressed too.
I'd be depressed too,
Especially with
and-
that one cornrow down the center of his head that he was rocking for a while.
And you know, I just that guilt from the
Honey, he
from
ain't got no guilt.
I think
bitch.
that karma guilt is seeping in there.
Well,
as he
karma is
gets
different
older.
from guilt.
He ain't got no guilt. He mad he got caught for trying to get his trophy
Honestly,
back.
it's so funny. I was going through so many pictures of him trying to find a good one because it's very hard to find a good picture of O.J. Simpson
Orenthal,
unless you go
James,
back to like.
way back in the day.
way back in the day.
when he was jumping over UPS trucks or whatever that commercial was.
Yeah.
But
Enterprise?
yeah,
Was it
he-
Enterprise?
I don't
No,
remember.
Hertz? One of those.
Something like
You ever
that.
just look at somebody and they just look empty?
Yes.
I just get
I look
that
at
from
him. I get empty from him too.
just used up. And
I
know
just
it's
would
such a
love to just
strong-
really pick his brain and just, if he
I
had
don't
like
think
a
I
truth
would. I feel like it
serum
would
and-
irritate me.
I think
actually.
he's insane, and he
Yeah.
would never give you what's actually going on in
Right.
his brain.
That's
Like
what-
you would feel like you were talking to a real crazy person the whole
It
time.
would
sure.
irritate the hell out of
Because
me.
he I feel like he has like, what is it, the grand delusions of grandeur in a
Oh,
way
yeah.
that like we can't even begin
Mm-hmm.
to imagine.
That's probably true.
Because he really thought he was getting out of jail.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere. Because they holding him not for robbing to get his trophies.
Right.
That's not why you in jail.
Right.
That's what they told you, but that's not why you in jail.
That's not why you're in
Okay.
jail.
Oh well, sorry.
It always
OJ.
comes back.
It always
It always
comes
comes
back.
back.
And hopefully you'll be all right for the rest of your days up in there. I hope his kids are all right. I don't hear
You
anything
never
about
hear
those
anything about them.
kids.
No.
None of them.
Those
But that's
two.
good.
I mean, it's maybe good, but I can't even imagine how that like
It's possible.
is possible. With
Well,
Sure,
yeah.
if we
the
Google
drama.
search them.
But you know what? They're young, or they're
They
well. They're
were
probably
young.
they were
No,
young.
they're all right.
like
They're
like in
grown-ups.
yeah. That's true.
They're
Well,
grown-ups.
there is. I'm sure there may be a reality show or a book that's coming
Please
in the
don't do
next
that.
several years.
Don't do that, guys. Stay hidden.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of children, Mandela apparently could possibly, most likely, have some daughters that
Keeping up with the Simpsons. I'm sorry, it just came to me right now.
Keeping up with the Simpsons.
All right, go ahead. Nelson Mandela. Speaking of other daughters,
Speaking of other daughters,
That's
Keeping
so
up with the
terrible.
Mandelas.
Jesse.
Keeping up with the Mandelas.
So there's two young ladies that are claiming to be children of the great Madiba. So Michael Katz, the attorney for the Mandela estate, received a letter from another lawyer basically stating these two women, Onika Matsoa and Info Pule, were daughters of Mandela, suspected to have been created during the time when Mandela was known to be slightly unfaithful to his first wife, who confirmed that he was regularly unfaithful, Miss Evelyn Mace, before she passed away. Both women have actually attempted for a couple years to try to get in touch with Mandela before his passing, and they were always sort of denied access, and they're just gold digging and blah, 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 blah. Miss Pule actually passed away in 2009 at age 63 after unsuccessfully trying to get in touch with Mandela. And currently, Onika is just constantly telling the family it's just very important for her to basically have her name and let her children know where they come from, that she does not want anything from the estate because the estate keeps claiming that she's just a gold digger and wants the money. The Mandela estate is worth about $4.1 million. She swears she is not interested in the money at all. Quote, "It's no amount of millions can buy the identity of a person. It is very important, even for my children as well as my grandchildren, to know who they are." And that's all she wants.
Well, plus there's already inner turmoil of, bickering about his estate between the children. So to add that is just crazy anyway. But do you think this daughter, do you think that she's entitled to his estate? I mean, technically, if she's his daughter,
If she's his daughter, I mean, yes.
She
if
didn't
it's
grow
left
up
to
with
the
him, but
children, that's not. I
if
mean, none
she's
of his
his-
children grew up with him.
Well,
he was
that's true.
unfortunately in prison for all
Yeah,
that
that's true.
time. So I don't think they are any less his children than she is if she is biologically his child, which is very possible based on the rumor information that we have. I just never understand why it's like, just give her a DNA test and be done with it. Like,
Okay.
please stop fighting. Like, don't argue about it. Stop
Your
being
father
I don't get that.
is
Yeah.
dead.
I
like,
never understood. Well, and I guess over the years while he was alive, maybe they didn't want that to be out. I don't know. I don't know what would hinder that, but it's just so easy now to go get a DNA test. I just
mean,
don't understand.
Jerry Springer does it every week, and
Every
so does
week
Maury
in an
Povich.
envelope,
So
and
every
just-
day.
yeah,
Nah, just go
yeah,
do it.
literally, yeah.
And it's, I mean, I'm not trying to be, whatever, because, $4 million would be great. But it's not like some insane amount of money.
Right.
It's
Right.
$4 million. If
not
that is
$4
a fully
billion
accurate,
dollars.
exactly. So if that's a fully accurate account of what the estate is
Maybe
worth,
that's why they're like that, because they're like, there ain't enough here, really.
it's not
Right.
enough to spread around. I don't know. Well, good luck, Onika.
But on the flip side of that, though, the state will change because with all these films and there's
That's
going to be
true.
other
It'll
things
continue
that
to
it'll
grow.
continue to grow.
That's
so there will be more money
accessible.
accessible.
But I mean, I don't know. It's so many families have all these like secret kids and I just
So many.
Never,
I mean,
there's lots of
Hell,
families
mine.
that I'm not gonna front.
You know?
I'm pretty sure it's
You know?
in mine, and I just
So-
never understand why everybody gets so like dramatic about it. Just
Yeah.
like people slip up and fall on things that don't belong to them.
the only
We know
unfortunate
we
thing is
did.
usually is the
Not my
kids
family.
who
It's the kids that
who
are fighting
suffer.
and suffering,
Yeah.
and it sucks. It's
Yeah.
like, you were my daddy, doggone it, and that's just how it
Ladies
is.
and gentlemen, keep your penis in your pants.
Keep it to yourself or to the person that you said you're going to keep it with until you go to somebody else or completely separate from the person.
And we preaching on Valentine's Day
That's
today.
what I'm saying. It's Valentine's Day. Don't be sharing the love.
So when Beyonce, this is so off topic. When Beyonce sings "I've been drinking watermelon," is that racist?
Oh, you back to
She
the school
drinking
lunch?
watermelon.
Total other side note, because I had this conversation.
know.
What does watermelon mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like with her, is probably some other hidden meaning
It's
behind.
a watermelon drink. Hello, did you not see the other video?
Okay.
I got watermelon.
Well, I've gotten
It's
two
$2.
things off of this. I'm so sorry to get off topic.
totally
It's just
are.
Well,
on
it's
subject
Black History
right
Month.
now.
We must talk
Right.
about watermelon.
So one
Beyonce.
person says that watermelon is known because watermelon has seeds in it. So when she says she's drinking watermelon, she's drinking Jay-Z's seeds.
Are
I
you-
think it's scissor.
no,
Like
honey.
watermelon Jolly Ranchers you put in the scissor that the kids
Honey,
be drinking today.
No,
Yeah.
it's the seed.
I'm gonna go with more.
Wait,
C.
really? I've been drinking his nut? Like that's really the lyrics of the Beyonce song.
I'm gonna go with that.
Oh, this week has gone.
But like
It's
she's
real
from
dirty.
Texas. Like scissor was created there.
Whatever
and
she says,
says,
surfboard. I mean, come on. I mean, what, are we surprised by anything that
Because
Beyonce does?
the song is
at this
"Drunk
point?
in Love."
Right, drunk in love.
All right, I'm just wondering.
Some people like it like that.
Okay.
Can't say that.
I was just curious if Beyonce was drinking.
I mean,
What she was drinking.
well, as long as it ain't on the school menu, we're doing all right, y'all.
On that note, if you want to hear more about Beyonce, you can catch Jesse on the Beat, which you can go to iTunes and download some of his previous shows because he's had plenty of watermelon syrup conversations, I'm sure.
I have, but I'm not drinking no water.
I didn't say you were
I love
drinking
that
it.
you said watermelon syrup conversations.
I combined it.
Scissor.
Scissor, excuse me, scissor, excuse me, scissor. I don't have the roll on my tongue.
Syrup. I love
I don't have the roll on my tongue properly. But you can also check out Fashion 411. You see Courtney is very
obviously Beyonce
stylist. What? We're crazy today because of Valentine's Day.
why they
You can
only have
check
one
out
kid.
Portraits, and you can also check out Love on Top, all the way down to Stand Up, Sit Down. We can't talk today. Give us a rating, give us a comment. Let us know how you guys are feeling about the show. We want to continue to grow the shows and to make sure that you're enjoying everything.
Baby blues in her stomach.
Baby Blues. Okay, we're still on this. So go to iTunes, give Black Hollywood Live a rating for some of our shows, and we appreciate all of the comments that you give us.
Thank you.
I just feel so weird because Mandela's on all sides staring at me.
I know, and
as I
you're
talk
talking about
Beyonce's
watermelon
nut.
And scissor up. Did I say it right that time? Scissor up.
Please stop, Dario. We're going to question your
Go like
black
this,
card.
go like
very
this with your bow
shortly.
tie real quick.
Oh boy, you guys are
Scissor
crazy.
up.
Scissor up. All right.
There's just one syllable at the end. It's just burp. Scissor.
Scissor. There we
All
go.
right, that's
Scissor.
There
I
you
got it.
go.
I
You got
knew what
it.
it was.
Got
All right.
it.
I knew what it was.
Teach him that
I
ebonics.
knew what it was.
You knew what it was. You knew what it was.
All right. On to the hot topics of today. Another person who is making headlines is Clarence Thomas. He's Supreme Court Justice who has been criticized over his recent statement that he made about Americans being too sensitive about race. We have a little clip of the conversation of what his statement actually was right here.
Here's what Thomas said, as reported by Yahoo News. He said, "My sadness is that we are probably today more race and difference conscious than I was in the 1960s, than it was in the 1960s when I went to school. To my knowledge, I was the first black kid in Savannah, Georgia to go to a white school. Rarely did the issue of race come up. Now, name a day it doesn't come up. Differences in race, differences in sex. Somebody doesn't look at you right. Somebody says something. Everybody is sensitive. If I had been as sensitive as that in the 1960s, I'd still be in Savannah."
Well,
That is what he said, Mr. Clarence Thomas. Now, we also know that Clarence has been in the news before because of a scandal that happened in the 90s with Anita Hill, who accused him of sexual harassment, which actually is coming to a documentary in a month, by the way, if you don't know all the details of that story. But what do you guys think about Mr. Thomas's statement here?
I mean, I wasn't around 1960 to really kind of.
But do you think that people are too sensitive about race overall?
In general, I just think people are. I'm a different mindset because I'm the type of person who I can take a word and not attach a feeling to it. It's hard to do that. It's taken a lot of time for me to get to do that, and so when I don't know, we sit here and we talk about so many different issues. It's opened my mind to a lot of things that do make me question things now that I'm out and about doing things. But I don't know, I still hold strong to the let's just drop the emotion that's tied to certain words and things like that. So I don't know. I don't know if people are more sensitive now than versus 1960. I think it's just we can talk about it now versus 1960 where you really couldn't. Now we have a platform and forums to actually discuss those issues versus letting, Barbara Walters be on TV discussing them. Sorry, Barbara Walters.
Yeah, where'd that come from? But okay, it's been one of those days today, I think, for all of us. Courtney?
I mean, my guess would be, okay, I admit I'm biased. I'm not the biggest Clarence Thomas fan in the world.
Either.
But even when I feel like he's being a dummy, there has to be some element of brilliance. You're on the Supreme Court. You have to be kind of brilliant. So I respect, on the one hand, that he wants to make race less of an issue, so to speak, so that we're not constantly being like, I can't do this because I'm black, or I can't go there because I'm black. Because things have come very far. Things are very different in a lot of ways. So I give you that. But I also give you that in 1960, as Jesse mentioned, if you're the only black guy at school in Savannah, you're probably not going to be like, oh, you said that to me because I'm black. Because
Right.
They would probably slap you and do something inappropriate to you. So you had to survive, and there was a level of block that you were had to put up and put around you to go through. Now, we don't necessarily have to do that unless you're in Florida where they shoot people for music. But that's another conversation. What I would say at this point is I think that yes, we are sensitive about race, and I do think we work too hard to be politically correct about race, and I feel like if we would put those walls down and actually just talk about it, like the friends that you have, friends that are uncomfortable saying, talking to me and saying, you're a black girl, I'm like, it's okay to call me black. They get uncomfortable just to say the word black to you. Things like that, it should be okay to talk about and actually say. And I think part of our problem has been that we want to veil it to make everything politically correct and okay and comfortable for everybody. But race isn't comfortable in this country, and it never has been. And the fact that we won't ever address it is part of the problem.
Right.
And the idea that we want to sweep this under the rug and everybody's more alike than they're different, I don't want to hear that. I actually want it to be celebrated that we are different and that that's a great thing.
Yeah.
God came down, made you brown, made you yellow, made you this, made you that for a reason. And those reasons are awesome. That doesn't mean we're not all humans and all that. And I'm not trying to be all like, ooh, love the world. But if we would just freaking let all that other stuff go about talking about oh, we should accept that we're all the same, because we're not. And it's okay that we're not. There are things that are the same and there are things that that are not. There are things that my experience in black skin is going to be different. And we should be able to talk about it and not make a big deal about it. But we should also recognize that there's still a lot of ignorance in the world.
Yes, exactly.
And the fact that we don't talk about, so I don't claim everything to be racist right away, but I don't negate the fact that there is substantial prejudice in this country and substantial assumptions that are made because of those prejudices
For sure.
that are still currently costing people their lives.
Yeah.
And so to tell me that we're being too sensitive with those type of situations that are still happening, say what you want. Obviously, I'm still referring to the Florida case right now with the
It's all
kid that
good.
got shot. That those things don't color how people behave and react in this country is unacceptable to me.
Yeah,
so
I mean-
I just can't. I can't for real jive with everything that he's saying, but I get where he's coming from.
I get where he's coming from. I think that he's a bad person to be the spokesperson who says
Yeah.
this, because I already
Nobody wants to hear that from
the
Clarence.
credibility from Clarence for me
We just want you to
is
shut
like
up,
I don't
Clarence.
even really want to hear him.
Yeah.
If someone else said it, maybe I would be willing to listen to it more. Because for me, it's hard to sit and say like we're too sensitive. As African Americans, yes, there are certain times that, you know, maybe we have taken certain things too far. Maybe we need to rethink or restructure the way certain things are said to us or the sensitivity to things. But I also find it very hard to do that because we're reminded every day of different ignorance that still occurs. So how can you let stuff go when ignorant things are still occurring? We still have college students who are dressing in blackface. We still have Florida kids getting killed because of race. We still have you can't go in Barney's or Macy's without being followed by security guards because you're black. So how am I supposed to not be sensitive about something like that when that type of thing is still happening? So I get his intention. I don't agree with what he's saying.
Yes.
I don't think that we need to hold this forever and ever and just, you know, just embellish in the negativity of everything with that. And we do need to move on eventually, but it's hard to move on. It has to be a collaborative thing of everyone.
Yeah. It's
You
not
know,
just
making
black
a
people that
transition.
need
It's not
to
just black people who need to
forget
change.
that you know, are being, targeted for things that you shouldn't be targeted for because you are a person of color or you look like whatever. And you shouldn't just have to lay that aside because they've decided that you're being too sensitive about that.
Yeah.
No, because I could end up in jail for it. I could end up dead for it. And those are real life things that are
Those are
real
real
life
life
possible
things.
on a daily basis for a lot of people. And it's not cool.
Well, here's what some people had to say about what Clarence's statement was. Huffington Post Live host Mark Lamont Hill said he's had a long history, referring to Clarence, he said he's had a long history of walking through doors and closing them behind him. He acknowledges no part that affirmative action played in his life. Bam! This is from Jeffrey Tobin, who said, he's a CNN senior legal analyst. He said, what's so remarkable about this statement is that it neglects the fact that in the mid-1960s, when he was a kid, you could get killed if you were black for speaking about race.
Forgot about that, didn't you, Clarence?
Yeah,
it
didn't you?
was
And then-
probably PTSD. I mean, you don't want to remember that.
You don't want to
kind of age.
remember. Black Democrat Alvin Holmes said, this is my favorite. He just kept it simple. Justice Thomas wasn't Uncle Tom. I mean, you know, what
I
do you,
didn't want to say it.
I
I
don't
mean-
like that term. Like, I don't like to, because I get that his point is to try to separate us from the tragedy that is our past.
True.
And I really honestly feel like that's what his intentions are and his desire for other people to. I would like to believe that that is where he's coming
I
from.
see that.
And for that reason, to call him an Uncle Tom, like, I just. It's not right to degrade him for trying to make us believe better of ourselves.
I agree. I just, once again, it goes back to, I think he was the wrong person to make that statement. If it had been someone else, maybe we'd be more willing to not criticize it as much.
Yeah.
But it's Clarence Thomas. I mean, he's a very smart man, done wonderful things, but we also know a little bit of history about him too. So,
And that picture just.
and
makes
that
me
picture
wanna-
does not help. All right.
He's another OJ one. It's just real hard.
It's like you're dead inside. Like you don't see what's happening all around you. Are you
Right.
insane?
You're just in your own
It's
universe.
fine.
Another story this week that made a lot of headlines was KTLA reporter Sam Rubin, who had an interview this week with Sam Jackson about his role on RoboCop, but he proceeded to call Sam Jackson by the wrong, well, basically he referred to him as being Lawrence Fishburne, being the wrong African-American actor. We have a little clip here.
African American.
The wrong African-American actor. All right, here's a little clip here of that interview.
I tell you what, you working for Marvel, the Super Bowl commercial, did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
You know what? My mistake. You know
See
what?
See, you're as crazy as the people on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
That's my fault. I know that. That was my fault. My mistake. You know what?
We don't all look alike.
Father, you're
We may
exactly
be
right.
all black and famous,
You
but
are
we all don't look
guilty.
alike.
I am guilty.
You're busted.
I am guilty.
Busted.
You were Bob Dylan.
Right. That's right.
You're the entertainment reporter.
I know.
You're the entertainment reporter
Right.
for this station.
Fly.
He
And
slapped
you don't
himself.
know the difference between
I
me and
know.
Lawrence Fishburne?
My mistake. My mistake. I apologize. Really, my big mistake. Let's talk
That
about.
must be a very short line for your job.
It probably would not be hard to get another person to sit right here. Let's talk about RoboCop.
Oh, hell no.
That's my favorite part.
Really? Really?
I apologize.
I'm the other guy.
But-
I'm the other guy. The
I know.
other one. What's in your wallet?
Right. That's it.
I'm
That's
that
exactly right.
There's more than one black guy doing a commercial.
There it is. No question about that.
I'm the what's in your wallet black guy.
Okay.
He's the car black guy.
There it is.
Morgan Freeman is the other credit card black guy. You only hear his voice though, so you probably won't confuse him with Lawrence Fishburne.
You're 100% right.
I don't know what's worse about that video is the fact that Sam Rubin was just flabbergasted. He couldn't recoup from that, or the fact that his co-anchors were laughing
dying.
in the background. It's like no support. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what do you guys think about that?
great.
Mistakes happen, but what do you guys think about that?
I just think it was a mistake. I don't think he was looking at him, or it could have been a slight on a paper, or, you know, honestly, it probably wasn't even him who did the paper. It was probably blame it on someone working in the back. You know, I don't know. I don't think Sam Rubin is like, hey, Morgan Fishburne.
Right.
I don't know. It's funny because I'm sitting here thinking about it. Like, I do think obviously it was a mistake, but at the same time, and his research was wrong. But was he just sort of talking about commercials? Because he brought up the commercial. He didn't actually say Lawrence Fishburne.
Right.
So I'm wondering if maybe it was a poor job on his part for just because if he's thinking about, unless somebody literally wrote down the Super Bowl
the Super Bowl
commercial for
commercial,
him, which
yeah.
the research might have done that. Maybe
Could
a
have,
producer
yeah.
wrote down Super Bowl commercial and that's why. Or he was just like, oh yeah, and that Super Bowl commercial you did, like, and he was actually confusing them at the same time. Like, then that's a little bit more like unfortunate of a mistake because that's your job to know the difference.
It is your job to know the difference.
And it's not like,
I don't look at it racist. Like, I don't think he's.
I don't think it was
yeah,
racist.
they're trying to build it
but
into
I do
it,
think
right.
it was insulting,
Yeah.
and he kind of got it.
He got red.
Like he deserved.
Like, do you guys look
it?
at it more insulting in the way that, like, you know, Samuel L. Jackson's like, dude, like, look at my resume.
Right.
You know, like, how do you not know my face? You know, and Lawrence Fishburne, you should know his resume too, like, as an entertainment reporter. You know, I think when you got Black Twitter and all these people trying to make it into, oh, he thinks all black people look alike. It has nothing. I don't think it has anything to. I don't think that's why Samuel L. Jackson really got mad at
I
it.
thought he was joking.
I think he was joking, but I think that, you know, Sam Jackson was irritated by Rubin messing up his name. But I think that what ended up happening was he saw the just Rubin was just so flabbergasted and stuttering
He was
and
all
and all over
flustered
flustered that
yeah.
I think he just kept playing off of that. When I look at it, and I've looked at it like I literally looked at this thing every day because I think it's one of the most hilarious videos this week, even though it's one of my biggest fears of flubbing someone's name like that on national live TV. But when you look back at the video, you could see Sam Rubin actually look at his paper afterwards, like when he's referencing the commercial with Lawrence Fishburne, he kind of looks like, oh, wait, did I read the wrong note? And then he looks off camera like someone else gave him the note.
Yeah.
Now, you know, unfortunately, it was on live TV, but I think it was just a general mistake. But I think that it was also an opportunity for Sam Jackson to just go in with it. So,
and it's probably not the first time it's happened to Sam. And he was like, for real, here we go again.
I wonder what happened on Twitter if someone was comparing him to Lawrence Fishburne or something like that for him.
People probably tweet him about how amazing the commercial was all the time and stuff like that. And he's like, for real? Like, and that's why he's probably irritated the most by Sam Rubin. He's like, you are supposed supposed to know.
You're
Like,
so
of
you're
all
the intellect-
people, like, you're
Yes.
the intellect on this subject.
Yeah,
and
Sam
that's-
Rubin's been a reporter since 1991.
Yeah.
He should know the difference. But, everyone has an off
We
day.
all
But
have a bad day.
Rubin issued an apology and claims he was referring to Captain America, the Winter Soldier trailer that played during Super Bowl, not Lawrence Fishburne's Kia commercial, is what
No,
Sam
he
said.
wasn't.
That's what he said.
They tried to find a real quick cover up for that one.
Yeah.
Or
they
maybe
did.
the producer that wrote the notes was referring
Was
to that,
referring
but
to that.
didn't clearly delineate
Didn't clearly
that,
delete,
and
yeah.
then he just read Super Bowl, and we're like, no.
Now here, several stars went to Twitter to talk about this particular subject. Conan O'Brien tweeted, "I just found out the L in Samuel L. Jackson stands for Lawrence Fishburne," which I found hilarious. Orlando Jones tweeted, "At Sam on TV, chin up, George. This too shall pass. That's why I try to cover all the bases in my Twitter bio. ABC7 is lucky to have you." Okay, so he's got a little support there. Don Lemon defended Sam Rubin. He said that people of the same race tend to share similar features.
He got real technical.
He said, "Let's be honest. I'm probably going to get in trouble here. People do look alike. There are features that African Americans have that are similar."
He
made it into race.
Well, they did
I
a
mean,
whole. Well,
there
that
was a
was
whole-
a quote from a whole show.
A whole
Like
show,
he was
right.
doing. I forget the girl's name, but he was doing a show where they were discussing this having happened, and they discussed all these studies about, as a baby, if you're seeing only white faces, you're able to like separate features from those faces differently than a child that was raised and born into a black family, because you notice black features differently. And I was like, oh, that study's real accurate, because to me, you show me a whole bunch of white girls and white boys and I think they look alike. Like, I can't recall their faces as easily as I do black faces.
Right.
So, I mean, it's totally possible. It doesn't necessarily make you racist, but it is like a comical joke, especially among black folks, because white folks at one time lumped us all together as
That is true.
a bunch of Negroes.
Yes.
So,
Well, we're going to end this story today, today's topics on a positive story. Obama is launching My Brother's Keeper, which is to help more young men of color obtain employment and reduce their chances of getting involved in the criminal justice system. This week, he met with leaders from the business world, foundation world, and community world at the White House to announce the efforts. The unemployment rate for African Americans last month was, for the age of 20 and over, was 12%, compared to white men, which was 5.4%, and Hispanic men, which was actually at 8.2%. So African Americans still hold that higher rate of unemployment.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this will change some things. What are your thoughts on this My Brother's Keeper
I'm
program?
surprised he didn't get attacked for it. Like, I looked and I was waiting when I first read that the initiative was launched or whatever, I think on Monday. I was like, okay, I'm waiting for all the people to come at him, like, why is it just for black people and blah, blah, blah. So I will say that I am pleasantly surprised, and maybe I've just missed the reports and the anger and the hostility towards it, but I'm pleasantly surprised and pleasantly pleased at the American people for recognizing that there is a disproportionate number of unemployed black men that this initiative could help. And he's done a couple things for trying to get people employed with the federal minimum wage and with the meeting of the minds that he did with corporations about how they can do better with hiring people that have been long-term unemployed. So he's trying.
He's trying, and listen, this was part of his State of Union address, his commitments towards that. So he's trying to do some things before he leaves. I am not upset with the man for doing it. So I hope it stays and sticks and is a positive result in the end when we start doing new percentages of unemployment for African Americans and all men, whatever race you are.
Unemployment in general.
Unemployment in general.
Please keep going down.
Please keep going down.
I'm ready for the good old days like the 90s were.
Right, exactly.
We need a new bubble.
We need a new bubble,
that
just not
won't
making the
pop.
house prices so high, though.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in to This Week. Courtney, where can your fans find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Stuart Starlet.
Jesse?
DJ Jesse J.
And you can find me at Dario Christian on Twitter,
that is
Instagram,
my
and
name.
Facebook, because
You know
my
what?
name is Dario Christian. Thank you guys for tuning in, and remember to go to the buzzer meter question for this week, which is: Bill Robinson and Shirley Temple were claimed as the first interracial tap dancing couple for what movie? Your options are A, Little Princess, B, Little Rebel, C, The Little Colonel, or D, Curly Top. Let us know your answers. We'll read them next week. Have a great Valentine's weekend.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Dario Kristen, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network.
No, I said balance.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.
Thanks for watching Black Hollywood Live on YouTube. For more in-depth interviews and news, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion in the comment section below here. See you soon, everyone. Bye.